Namaste. So, since we had a focus recently on the feet and really moving into poses from the feet, today I thought we would go with the hands, that we would explore how the hands are in yoga postures and how they might speak in poses. Because sometimes we lose track of body parts in poses because we get so focused on certain areas, or maybe the pose is intense and so we can't even pay attention to that part of the body. So today we're going to do some awareness with how the hands feed into the body, into poses. And of course they do feed into the shoulders. Anyway, enjoy. So the first pose we'll do is just come to lie with the feet on the floor, knees bent. And we'll just interlock the fingers here and then stretch them straight in front of you. We sometimes do this sitting and standing, but what is it like to do this on the floor? One thing you can do is you can just roll it a little bit side to side, which will then feed into a little warm-up through the upper back, through the shoulders. Getting some nice little stretches. And then come back into the center and really extend those hands as much as you can up to the ceiling. And then inhale and just slowly bring up overhead. Now you may only get this far, you may only get this far, but just see where you go, where you can really feel into the stretch. And you might feel how by interlocking the fingers this way, you get some stretch in the side body. I can feel the length through my rib cage. And then inhale, bring the hands up to the ceiling. And then release the arms. You might just shake out the arms a little bit, the hands. And then we're going to change the crossover. If you can't remember the crossover, you can try one side and then the other and see if your body helps you remember. A lot of times it does, not all the time. And then again, interlock the fingers, extend up to the ceiling. And again, just rocking a little bit side to side, just a little stretch in the shoulders and the upper back. And then extend straight up to the ceiling if you can. You can always start a little bit lower if that works better for you. And then slowly inhale, overhead. Couple of breaths here. Slowly release the hands. And then see if you can slide up the thighs with your hands, pressing into the thighs. Maybe just roll up the spine, roll back down. So it's a little bit of abdominal awareness, but using the hands. So you press onto the thighs, roll up. If you're having neck problems, of course, you can put a hand behind. You can alternate each hand here. Slowly roll back down. And inhale, coming up. Exhale, roll back. And then place your hands together. And see if you can inhale, come up, hands between the knees. Exhale, down. Inhale, come to one side. Feel with those hands. Exhale, down. And then coming other side. Again, if you need to put your hand behind your head, you can. And you can just alternate hands. Again, hands between the knees or one hand behind, the other hand forward. And then down. We'll do it one more time to each side and back in the center. Coming over to one side. Down. To the other side. Down. Back through the center. Coming down and just extend those arms, the back of the hands behind you. And then see if you can use those hands to come up and roll back down. So you really feel that expansiveness in the palms. Inhale, coming up. So you're using a little bit of momentum. Exhale, rolling down. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, rolling down. One more. Inhale, coming up. And then come over onto your knees. And something I have really liked doing, especially when I broke my wrist and I wanted to work on my hands, was can you press the tops of your hands on the floor to start with? If you need a little bit of bend in the elbows, that's okay. But from here, see if you can slowly extend the elbows up. So I can turn around to show you from this angle. So you're bringing the back side of the hand to the floor. You can soften at the elbows. And then slowly see if you can straighten the arms. And really pressing into the back side of your hands. And when you're in this position, you can also go forward a little bit and come back. So you're using the pelvis to press into the backs of the hands, move forward, back. And then if you're comfortable, you can take your knees onto your hands. And you can play with the intensity here. You can tuck the toes under, or you can just leave the knees there. And again, you can roll back and forward. And what I like about this movement is that it really gives my hands a bit of a massage. I can really feel all those little joints in all those knuckles. And of course, you can put, you can play with how much weight you put on the hands as well. So you need to do what works for you. Just rolling forward and back in your own pace and in your how much works for you. And again, if you need to kind of bend at the elbows, you can. And then take the knees out. And you might really feel this. You might need to sit back on your heels. Just shake out the wrists. And actually, we'll do a little, depending on what you have to sit on. You can always sit on a block or two. But we'll do a little bit of what we did with the hands that we did to start with, and then we'll go back into putting more pressure on the hand. So interlock the fingers, press forward. So this was the first movement we did, but we were laying on our back. Now inhale overhead, and then exhale, bring behind you, and interlock the fingers here. Lift the hands up Bring it back to the front. Inhale and exhale back into prayer position. So then we'll do a couple of rounds. Make sure you cross the other finger. Inhale. Exhale in front. And of course, you could sit cross-legged if this is too difficult to sit on your shins. Inhale overhead. Exhale behind. Inhale, extend away from the pelvis. Exhale in front. And exhale. We'll do it twice more on each side. Inhale, press the hands forward. Inhale up. Exhale behind. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And then whatever you were sitting on, you can put that to the side. And then bring your hands underneath. Really stretch those fingers. Want to walk them a little bit forward, and then just notice by really pressing the weight into your hands, can you start to feel how that engages your arms and then engages into your shoulder area. And then this is how we're going to go downward dog. So you're really focusing on how those hands press through, come into downward facing dog. Inhale, come down, bring the big toes together. Now really use your hands to press so the sits bones goes back to your heels, but you're really in those hands. And then place the forearms onto the mat so the hands face each other. So now you're on the side edge of your hands. And then see if you can lengthen your legs and come into this version of plank. See if you can really feel those palms opening to each other. A couple of breaths here. Then bring the knees down. And again, press the hands down. And really press through the hands to bring yourself into big toes together, knees wide. And then see if from here you can still feel that hand pressure, putting the forearms down, keeping those hands down, and then extending through the legs into half plank. And then again, bringing the legs down, press into those hands, press back through the arms, into big toes together, knees wide. Then come on up, and you're just going to turn your hand out slightly. We've sometimes done this against the wall, where you place your thumb and your finger, first finger, your pointer finger into the wall. But you're just going to slightly turn them diagonally. Make sure the elbows are still facing each other, but you're really pressing into those hands. And again, see if you can press yourself into downward facing dog with the hands turned out. And just notice what kind of feedback this gives into your shoulders into your back. And then drop the knees down, keeping the hands where they are, and press the hands this way into big toes together, knees wide. And then inhale, come up. Now see how far you can turn the fingers in towards each other. And often we try to cross them like at the first digit right there. See if you can do that. And then see if from there. Now if you have like some wrist issues, you might need to ease up on that. So you may not be able to turn the hands in as far. Now see what happens when you press into downward dog this way. And what happens in your shoulders. And then bring the knees down and see what happens if you try to press in big toes together, knees wide. It's a lot harder. I can't use my hands so much. It's just the inside of the hands that presses back and my elbows are bent. And then come back up and as best as you can, have that middle finger pointing forward, really spread between the hands. And then as you tuck the toes, you're really pressing into those hands, into the arms, the shoulders for downward dog. And then what happens if you start to walk your feet towards the hands? You can bend the knees, of course. And then just bring the fingertips up for a few breaths here. And then we'll see how well you can do the next pose where you bring the hands under the feet as best as you can up to the, again, like that earlier pose of getting the backs of the hands on the floor. At this stage, you might not be able to straighten the legs, but that's what you can work towards in this pose. Is there's something really lovely about hands and feet together. And you can slowly try to straighten the backs of the hamstrings. And then bring the hands out. Slowly roll up. And just come into the middle of the mat. Standing, and we'll see how we get along. And we're going to use our hands to go into standing poses and see how that works for us. So bring those hands into prayer position and then see if you can start to raise them overhead. And if you can't straighten the arms, then slightly open them. And then see from here, if you can bring the left foot, I'll be mirror image, up into tree pose. For some of you, this may feel more stable. For others, it may feel less stable. And then to come out of it, just bring the hands together, down through prayer, and bringing that foot down. Then again, bring the hands together. Start to really raise them up. Open the hands, face each other, then bring the other foot into tree pose. And bringing those hands together, coming down. That foot down. then what happens if we go through our hands to do standing pose? We often just orient through our feet. So what happens if we orient through our hands? So we're going to extend those arms out and just bring the palms up so you can feel the arms activated. And then walk the feet out. So you're pressing through the hands this way. Now, extend those fingertips out and then bring the palms forward. And then move the left foot heel, toe to heel, right foot heel to toe. And then reach through those palms, particularly the palm going down to the leg or the thigh, and then the top arm up. Inhale, coming up through the arms. Bring the palms out again. Bring the feet in towards each other by extending through the palms. And then release the arms down. A couple of breaths. Don't want to wear out your arms and shoulders too much, but the idea of going into poses differently is finding new information for your body and for your own practice. So again, inhale the arms up, pressing through those palms. Bring the feet out wide. And now take the right foot toe to heel, left foot heel to toe. And then bring the palms forward. I probably did this slightly different. So palms are forward, and then you're going to reach and find the leg or the thigh, top palm up. Inhale, coming up, palms forward. Bring the feet parallel, palms come out to the side, inching the feet in. Bring the arms down. Yeah, so a little bit of a warm, a little bit of a arm workout, and also you probably will feel your heart rate go up. So again, we'll go through this way for a couple more standing poses. Bring the arms up, pressing through the palm. It's almost like if you had a hallway where you could really press the hands. And then bring the feet out wide. And then again, we're going to pivot on the left foot toe to heel, right foot heel to toe. And this time, keeping the palms there, go into warrior two pose. And then inhale, slowly coming up, feet parallel, coming back together. And exhale, the arms down. So doing things like this could prepare us for, developing strength for forearm balances eventually, or hand balances, handstand. And then again, inhale the arms up, pressing through the palms. Bring the feet out wide. And then right foot toe to heel, left foot heel to toe, and bend the front thigh, going into warrior two with the hands up. And inhale, slowly come up, bring the feet parallel, inch them closer in, release the arms down. Just a couple of breaths, and just notice how your hands are right now. Maybe you just need to do a little bit of, shaking the hands a little bit, or a little bit of brushing off. So if you're not used to that, I can feel a lot of energy going on there. If you're not used to it, they might get kind of tired. So we'll do one more standing pose this way, see how we go. So we're going to, again, Inhale, palms up, shoulder height. Bring the feet wide. And then pivot with the left foot toe to heel, right foot heel to toe. And this time we're going to bend into Parsvakonasana. Now, if you had a block, or you can put that hand on the floor, you could do that. And we're just pressing through the palms here. And then inhale, slowly come up. Bring the feet parallel, release the arms. A couple of breaths there. And then pivoting the right foot to, oh, whoops, nope. Bring the palms up. Pivot that right foot toe to heel, left foot heel to toe. And then as you bend, reach the palm. One goes down, one goes up. You might not hit the floor, but the idea is going to where it works for you. Inhale, slowly come up, inching the feet closer, releasing the hands down. We're going to come into side plank pose, so you can just see how, you already might be tired through the arms, but we'll see how you go. So again, we're going to press through the palms, fingers forward, into a downward dog. Then you're going to come into plank and then roll over side plank. Now you can take the top leg in front or behind you if you have difficulty with this. And you can either press the top hand up or just top hand forward. And then you roll back through plank, come into another face, downward facing. And then again, come into plank, roll over, side plank, coming back through plank, then downward facing. And then you can either do big toes together, knees wide, or one more set. Coming into plank, rolling over into side plank. Coming back into plank. Coming into a downward dog. And coming into plank again. Coming into side plank. Coming back into plank, downward dog, bring the knees down. And then just to finish off before we go into a Shavasana, feet up the wall, feet on the chair, whatever works for you, just bring one hand to the other and just do a little bit of massaging. You can also interlock the fingers and just roll through the wrist a little bit with that hand. So I'm taking my right hand and just rolling through the hand and the wrist. And then I might take one hand and stretch this way, one hand and stretch that way. Just giving a little bit of massage. Changing the hands so you can bring the fingers in and do a little bit of crawling through the wrists. And press it out. Press it the other way. Do a little massage on the hands. You can also bring the back of the hands together. Press this way. Turn them out this way. Press them back in. Turn them out. them back, go the other way, and just whatever's feeling really good with them, you can just move them around each other. Have a little shake, have a little rub, and then go into your Shavasana or your feet up the wall or whatever works for you right now. We'll start this Shavasana by just focusing on the hand. Just notice the thumbs. We'll start on the left hand. Notice the thumb on the left hand, pointer finger, middle finger, the ring finger, the pinky finger. And just see if you can feel where the fingers connect into the hand, feeling the back side of the hand, the palm of the hand. On the left side, and then see how that flows into sensation in your wrist, front side of your wrist, the back side of your wrist. How that might flow into your shoulder girdle. And then notice your right hand, your right thumb, your right pointer finger, your right middle finger, ring finger, and your pinky finger. And then notice your palm, notice the back of your palm, back of your hand, where your fingers connect into the rest of your hand. And then where the hand connects into the wrist, so the front of the wrist, back of the wrist, the sides of the wrist. And then how that hand soften back in through the arm into the shoulder girdle. And just become aware of the shoulder girdle, front of the chest, the collarbones, the shoulder blade, collarbone notches. And see if you can soften your throat back to your neck. Face softens back to your ears and the back of the head. Begin to deepen your breath, bring a little bit of movement to your fingers, hands and fingers, moving your toes and feet. And then in your own time, you can roll to your right side and slowly come up to sitting. And perhaps throughout the day, since all of us do so much work at the computer, that you take time just to stretch out your fingers, stretch out your hands, shake them out. Since we do a lot of typing, or especially, with the phones too. So just give ourselves a little more awareness of those hands. Namaste.